Beyond bent. Janssen! And Blackburn Rovers are 18 minutes away from a Premiership return.
As far as Stewart, just outside the penalty area, clips it central for David Dunn. David Dunn equalises! It just had to be. Dax corner and it goes. Glance towards goal! And Rovers have taken the lead! And Charlie Mulgrew has scored his 14th of the season.
Good evening, Rovers fans, and welcome back to another edition of On the Other Side with me, Ryan Hildred from Rovers Chat. And it's day 23 of the Rovers Chat Advent Calendar, as Christmas Day is nearly upon us. Very, very exciting times. And last time out, the Rovers kept rolling, didn't they, with our fifth win on the bounce, fifth clean sheet in a row as well, as we dispatched of Birmingham in an excellent 4-0 win. And it's 3 games in a week coming up now, and the next one is Hull City at the KCOM Stadium on Boxing Day. And giving us the lowdown tonight is Nathaniel from To Hull and Back podcast. How are you doing, Nathaniel?
I'm very good, thanks. Thanks for having me on. I'll try my best.
No worries. No, we're really grateful to have you on, and it's good seeing different fans from the different clubs. So I'm sure you'll do a grand job. Rovers fans watching, as we always say, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. Please turn on all notifications using that bell icon and give this video a big like for me. Super Chat is available as it always is. Big thank you to our sponsors, Blue Rose Capital and SixYardsOut.com. And do remember, keep donating to our charity cause this month. We've raised over £1,200 for the Sporting Memories Foundation, thanks to our live event last night. So you can still be in the hat to win some great prizes. Go to www.rcdonate.com. Every pound equals 1 raffle ticket, and they will be drawn on the 31st of December. So I will just dip into the comments very quickly. Ollie Walker Peel, I can see the super chat there. Just thought I'd wish everyone a Merry Christmas if you're celebrating, and if not, hope you're all safe and well. 3 points for Rovers on Boxing Day would be a great late Christmas present. Brilliant. Brilliant, that, Ollie. There we go. And you confused me there. Aren't we meant to be seeing you, Ryan? Yeah, I am here. I am here. So there we are. And Ryan will touch on whether this game is going to be postponed. Nathaniel and I were just chatting about this when we weren't live. So Nathaniel certainly has some information on that. So let's make a start then, Nathaniel. You slipped out the Championship not long after being in the Premier League. You're obviously back in the Championship.
Slipped is putting it mildly. We crashed out.
Yeah, you did crash out, but you're back there now, back in the Championship. You won League One last season, and there are quite a few Rovers fans that think that our season in League One just really helped reset the club and get the fans on board with everything after our own troubles. So what sort of shape have Hull returned into the Championship in for this season?
Well, we were hoping, looking at Blackburn as an example, actually, that would happen to us. And it happened in our first game. We came back with momentum, great 4-1 win at Preston. And then after that, we just fell apart. Really, when you get promoted, you want to keep most of the squad because, they played so well last year. But unfortunately, we had a transfer ban, so we weren't actually able to improve the squad. So really, most fans would have said at the start of the season, our best 11 is exactly the same as it was last year. So we didn't improve, especially in the striker position. We needed to improve that. So really, we are basically just still a League One team, just punching above our weight at the moment. But up until our recent upturn in form, it was extremely dire. And McCann, again, after our relegation, was a bit fortunate to stay in the job. But fortunately, recently, we've turned it around. Only the 1 defeat in 7, and we've won 4 games as well. So things are looking up at the moment.
Yeah, and I'll come on to the manager in a moment. But, ownership of the club is something that's been problematic for Hull at times. Rovers have had that as well. I've not heard too much about that recently, but certainly on my last trip to the KCOM when I was there a couple of seasons ago, there were some protests against the Alam family at that point. So what is the latest around the ownership of the club and what the feeling is towards them?
Well, since the alleged or attempted name change in 2013, we've always wanted the Allans out, and they said they'd sell the club, and they didn't. After years and years, this summer we heard a rumor that Ilichali, the Turkish media mogul, might be interested in buying the club. That went quiet, but about maybe 2 months ago, or around the time that our Upton informant, the takeover seemed that it was quite close, and for the last 3 games or so, we've thought maybe this is the last game with the Allans, and we're still hoping that the game on Boxing Day might be the first with a new Turkish owners, but it seems it might drag on into January, which would be a shame. But pretty much, well, everyone wants the Allans out. They've wanted to for years, and we're just really hoping that that could change in the next week, and we'll have new owners.
I was just going to ask the Rovers fans. There we go, Ryan. Yeah, just let us know, Rovers fans, if the sound does keep cutting out. I can see that the StreamYard seems to be having a bit of a wobble tonight. So just let me know if it's my voice or Nathaniel's, and we'll get that rectified. So, yeah, coming on to the manager then, Nathaniel. Firstly, you know, we hope that he does recover after testing positive for COVID-19. So best wishes to Grant McCann there. But he won't be on the touching line for Boxing Day, of course, because of that. But the owners kept faith in McCann after that relegation, as you've just said. They were rewarded. You know, McCann did guide you to the League One title last season. So what is the view in the fan base about the job that McCann's doing at Hull?
Well, he definitely should have been sacked 3 or 4 times over when we got relegated. It was the worst run of form I've seen any team go on ever. So how he kept his job, I don't know. But you could argue that faith in him was justified because we won the league. We had a few dodgy spells in that league in League One. So maybe he could have gone again. But I think most people forgave him for the terrible relegation after promotion is sort of cancelled out. He had a clean slate, and unfortunately, he seemed to go back to his old ways, sticking to the same formation 4-3-3, which just doesn't work for us in the Championship anyway. So we were really struggling, but we seemed to sort of, through injury, forced to go into a 3-5-2, which is much better. Was just hoping that when the some players come back from injury, he doesn't change back to 4-3-3 again, which I would sack him straight away if he did that, because this formation works for us, and but it's not really been his decision to go to that. It was just because of injuries. But at the moment, fans are slightly divided, which is a surprise after some of the recent form, which has been quite terrible. Fans are divided as to whether he should be sacked if the new owners come in. Personally, I think he will go, but if we keep picking up some results, I think maybe we should keep with him for a little while, especially as the team he's built, or he's built it, and in his mould. And it would be a big change if we had new owners and a new manager. But I think because the new owner wants to sign allegedly lots of Turkish players, a little bit perhaps like they've done at Wolves with Portugal, that he'll want to bring in his own man to kind of see out that vision of signing more players from Turkey.
What I'm going to do is the good old-fashioned, let's see if we can reboot this, because I think we're having some sound issues and really want to hear what you've got to say, Nathaniel. So, Rovers fans, stay where you are. I'm going to keep the stream live. I'll just put an overlay on. I'll bring me and Nathaniel back in and see if that sorts out the sound quality issue. So, bear with us one tick. Let's have a go at this. Right, we'll see how we get on with that. So let's test out the sound. I'll ask you an unscripted question here, Nathaniel. So just talk to us about those Turkish owners. I hadn't quite picked up on the fact that you might have a change of ownership there.
Okay, so in the summer, we heard a slight rumor that we might get a takeover from the Turkish media mogul, who's on a host of the Turkish Voice and is on TV all over Turkey. So that was a small rumor that he might be interested, and he's been a manager or an owner in Holland as well. So he's got experience of this sort of thing. And he's a big football fan, which is a big plus as well, because he supports Fenerbahce. So we heard that, but then only more recently, we heard that this was likely to go through. So for the last few weeks, we've been thinking, hopefully the Blackburn game, or maybe 2 weeks ago, the Bristol game might be the first with the new owners, or at least the last with the Lambs, who ever since 2013, and they tried to change the name, we've wanted them out of the club.
I think that fixed the sound. So I think the good old-fashioned rebooting has worked. So let us know, Rovers fans, if that continues to happen. But thanks, Ryan and Steve, for pointing that out for us. So you mentioned Hull's recent form. I've got a little graphic here just to show that. First 17 games, obviously you had just the 3 wins, the 3 draws and 11 losses. But the last 6 games, as you mentioned, 3 wins, 2 draws, 1 losses. So you're quite high up the form table in the Championship at the moment, like Rovers. And, it can be tough for teams coming up from League One, with the league getting more and more competitive towards the top. You do find yourself in 19th place, 6 wins, 5 draws, 12 defeats. But this recent good form, is there a feeling that you can now get yourselves clear of safety, or are you still expecting the season to be a bit of a fight against the drop?
Well, hopefully if we get a bit of reinforcement in January with the new owners, then we might be able to push on a bit more. But I think most people before, especially me, I thought 19th where we are is probably a good aim. I didn't think, some players said that they wanted to get into the playoffs, which I think was just a bit ridiculous. And they kept saying it 6 games into the season when we'd lost 5 games in a row or something like that. So, and that was a bit silly to me, but I think 19th is probably where we could end up, hopefully. We missed a big opportunity to go further clear when we conceded a last-minute goal 2 weeks ago to Bristol. But I don't think we're too ambitious, really. We just want to consolidate, or maybe the next year, but really we take 21st, or I would, after such a terrible start. But and especially as it's a inexperienced team with a lot of players from League 2 and League 1. So really, I think staying up would be a good achievement.
And what is the reason for the upturn in form? Because obviously that graphic that we've shown there, it is a stark difference. The last 6, you've got as many wins as you got in the first 17 games. So, what is the reason, do you think?
Well, the first win we had in that run was Barnsley. So I think just we didn't play hugely well in that game, and we were able to beat another side close to us. I think that just gave us a lot of confidence to go on and beat a few sort of mid-table teams that aren't great or aren't, heated 6-pointers. So some mid-table teams, Birmingham or Cardiff, they're quite close to us as well, and Millwall too. So some mid-table teams, maybe we could just get the edge over. But yeah, McCann was forced to go into a 3-5-2 away from his usual traditional 4-3-3 system that got us relegated, some would say, 2 years ago. So that system suits us much better. We have a lot more attacking impetus with that, and it's really exciting seeing our young centre backs kind of go on the wing sometimes. So we have 3 wingers on each side almost sometimes. So it's a much more attacking formation, but that's also helped us defend as well somehow. So long may that continue. So I think the changing of formation and changing our goalkeeper, poor Matt Ingram was probably our best player all season, the goalkeeper. And then for no reason, apparently, he got benched. And then from then on, Baxter has been even better in goal. We've kept a few clean sheets. So we dropped our best player and we've improved somehow.
Well, it's similarities with Rovers. In fact, with a change in formation, we started the season very much a 4-3-3, but we're now in the wing-back system, which seems to be working well for us as well. So similarities there. I'll just pick up a question that Ryan's asked here. Has the form improved since Derby got that further point deduction and just lessened the pressure a bit, do you think?
Well, I think it's definitely lessened the pressure. McCann will say that they never look at, the next game. They always focus on the performance and that sort of thing. He got derided for that. He said the formula was working when we'd lost, or we'd not scored in 5 games or something. So he got criticism for that. But yeah, at the moment, it seems that there's only really 2 relegation spots left. Derby aren't actually that bad a team, but with the extra points deduction, it seems that they're doomed. So, and Barnsley have been cut adrift as well. So really, perhaps it could be us or Peterborough that goes down. So hopefully it's them, especially after the heated title race we had with them last year. It would be quite pleasant to see them go down again. But hopefully no Peterborough fans are listening.
So let's
but yeah, that has lessened the pressure, I think.
Sure. So let's move on to some of the playing personnel that have been contributing for you this season. So, we've got to start in one place, haven't we? And you've got a recent Rovers hero, captain in your side in Richie Smallwood. He went one better with Hull by winning League One. He only came second with us. So how has Richie Smallwood been for you overall and this season as well?
Well, I think his experience helps, not only because, he won 2 promotions before he came to us in League One as well, but because it is such a young team, that's been really important. But last year and this year, he has come under a lot of criticism, which has been both fair and unfair at times. Some people complain, me too, that he can't run, he just cannot sprint at all. But recently with, I suppose, this system actually suits him better because there are 3 defenders behind him. So if he's caught up the pitch and can't get back, there's more defenders back for him to rely on. So, and I don't think he's as bad as everyone says, but I guess he's an easy scapegoat. We have a few easy scapegoats, to be fair, in our side, but he's been one of them. But recently, it's gone quite well. But there's been a lot of debate over that defensive midfield position, especially as we have our legendary Tom Huddleston back, but he's been kept out of the team, which is quite a compliment to Smallwood.
Yeah, and I think it's easy for players like Smallwood to become a scapegoat, at League One, where obviously the quality is a little less than the Championship. Obviously in League One, you can probably just get away with being the type of player that Smallwood is, no frills, kind of do the ugly side of the game really well, but when you're in the Championship, of course, you probably need a few more strings to your bow. And I think that's what we found out with Smallwood when we got promoted. It was the fact that he was just being shown up a little bit. But we remember him really fondly, Richie Smallwood, a really great servant for us and big part of our League One promotion campaign. But 2 other key performers for you this season, probably lesser known players for the Rovers fan base. Keane Lewis Potter and George Honeyman. So Lewis Potter's your top scorer with 5 goals and 3 assists. And then Honeyman's chipped in with 4 goals and 1 assist as well. So talk to us about these 2 and what Rovers fans can expect to see from them.
Well, Lewis Potter's just a great talent. So great that most of us are fairly scared he'll be gone in January to a Premier League team, which he would deserve. He's perhaps not quite as good as Bowen was when he left West Ham a few years ago, but his dribbling is really a sight to behold. Some of the kind of spins and turns he gets away with is really entertaining to watch, and he's added some goals recently. And Honeyman was definitely our best player last year, but he'd been injured for the majority of this season. So the last few games when he's come into form, it's really helped us pick up results, and he's kind of swapped assists for goals this season. He's on fire at the moment. He's got 4 in his last 6, I think. So both of them are on fine form at the moment, and they're definitely the 2 to fear if you're going to fear anyone.
And then just thinking about the game a little bit before we come on to your team and predictions, I was looking into Hull's stats, and I do this with every team on this show. Nothing really stood out. You're fairly mid-table, lower bottom half for most things, which you'd expect for a team in 19th. However, scoring does appear to be an issue. It's just the 20 goals that you've got so far this term, and that's joint third worst. And I know that you said you're a bit more attacking now. So what is the style of play, and, you know, why have goals been so hard to come by?
Well, I mean, we've only scored one set piece this season. Set pieces were our definite strength last season. Both Elder and Honeyman, it was like Beckham and Ronaldinho almost last year. They were just great from dead ball situations, but it was about 2 minutes after I tweeted that we were at 95 corners without a goal. Can we get to 100? Then we finally scored a corner after that at Cardiff, but we've only scored one. Well, we haven't scored any since the game at Cardiff a few weeks ago. So removing that great goal-scoring trait from us that we had in our promotion season has kind of left us a bit sparse. But recently, in the last 7 games, we've scored in each game, and sometimes 2. So scoring at the moment's fine, but we did have a terrible run before we won at Barnsley, where we could not score just at all. And I think what showed that the best was McGuinness's terrible penalty that he blasted into the stratosphere that would have won us the game probably. I mean, I've never seen a penalty missed so poorly. So if we couldn't score a penalty, we weren't really going to score anything else, although he did score earlier in that game, to be fair. But yeah, fortunately, it seems goal scoring is back on the agenda for now. And it's because of those wing backs who aren't really fullbacks. Usually you have fullback playing wing back, and these are proper attacking wingers. You might even play them up front. So I think that's helped, because we've got, well, 4 with 2 strikers, 2 wingers playing as wing backs, and Honeyman as an attacking midfielder. So more of the team is attacking than defending now.
Yeah, so you've gone into your predicted side there. So, you know, as we always do on the show, you know, we ask you for that side. So let's bring it up. You know, just keep talking to us about that. You know, who are those wide players that are going to play in those positions that you've said? You know, you've got it in a 3-5-2 there in that formation that you've said. So, you know, just talk us through that side a bit.
Yeah, well, Bernard and Greaves are the attacking centre-backs who sometimes bomb forward and link up with the wing-backs, who are Lewis Potter and Longman. They're both quite versatile players, so they could play up front, wing-back or wingers, and either side. McCann likes to sign these young wingers that can play anywhere across the front 3. So when we signed Longman, he was built as a striker, but now he's playing left wing-back, which is sure he didn't expect to end up there when we signed him. But then the 2 last players on this list, McGuinness and Wilkes, they will almost definitely start, but a lot of City fans, especially for Wilkes, aren't really happy about that. Wilkes had a great season in League One last year, but at the moment he's just not playing to his best of his abilities, and we'd like to see maybe Tom Eaves or our young striker Tyler Smith have a go there. So 9 of the players we're quite happy with, but the front 2 at the moment, even though we're scoring, they're not scoring. So we'd like to try something else.
Interesting that I'll just bring you back on camera there. Interesting that, you know, your 2 top scorers are not strikers. You know, Lewis Potter in particular in that wide position that you've just said there. And if there are going to be areas of weakness where Rovers can hurt you on Sunday. I always forget what day it is over Christmas. Sunday, Boxing Day. Where are the areas of weakness that we can hurt you?
Well, scoring set pieces, we've been terrible at defending them. So if you can whip in a set piece, I know you scored one in the home leg for you. That's definitely something. And really, we've conceded a few sloppy goals recently. We've not defended hugely well. And I think Greaves and Bernard and McLaughlin, all good centre halves, but they're still inexperienced. So Brereton Diaz in his form will probably get a chance off them. Maybe one of them might give away a mistake. So, but you'd be it's quite a difficult chance to get past Baxter in goal at the moment. He's making a fair few saves, but it wouldn't be too hard to create chances against us. But perhaps we've just had a bit of luck with other teams missing them.
And just before we go into the prediction, this is a fascinating game for me because, all your stats and stuff for this season are kind of not reflective of the current form that you're in. Obviously, you've really painted a picture there that there's been an improvement, a bit more attacking, scoring more goals, etc. So a dangerous side for Rovers to come up against. But, with the form that Rovers are in, we're red hot at the moment, with Hull much improved. What sort of game are you expecting from Hull?
Well, although we've had a good form for the last 4 games, I don't think we've been the better team. So I probably would expect Blackburn to win with the form they're on, but it might be quite close and more likely to outscore us than maybe score or win 1-0. So I'm expecting quite an open game with a lot of goals, really.
Yeah, and I think Ryan's just absolutely echoed what I was just thinking there. Sitting back is not the answer for Rovers. We should go and attack. And in particular, I think some of those spaces in those wide areas, if you've got people bombing on, then that might be an area that we look to exploit. So Rovers fans, you know what to do now. I'm going to ask Nathaniel for his prediction in a moment, but you get your predictions into that comments box and I'll run through them before the end of the show. I can see Steve has got his in already. So from Steve downwards, I'll run through those predictions before we finish. So yeah, Nathaniel, I'll put you on the spot and then myself. What is your prediction? How do you think the game's going to go?
I know you haven't conceded for 5 games, but Wilkes, who I was just complaining about, he usually scores when we don't expect him to. So maybe he'll break that, and it might be an entertaining Boxing Day treat. 3-2 to Blackburn.
3-2 Rovers. I actually do think you're going to score as well. I've just done a match preview with Dan actually for this from our channel, and I think you're going to take the lead. I think there's something about Hull in this game. I think you're going to be dangerous, and I think you're a better side than what the underlying metrics and things are saying at the moment, and with that form. So I think you'll take the lead. I do fancy Rovers to come back and win though, so I'm saying a 2-1 Rovers win. I can see we've got a few predictions in, so I'll run through them. You've probably got about 1 minute, Rovers fans, before I close this stream. But Nathaniel and I are both predicting a Rovers win. Nathaniel, I will love it if it's a 3-2 game. That'll be so entertaining. So that'll be good. So Steve has gone 2-0 Rovers because it's Christmas, 4-0 any other time. I think it's going to be
generous.
It'll be a much improved Hull side compared to the one that was at Ewood Park. That was very comfortable for us in that second half. Ollie's gone 3-0 Rovers. Big thank you for that super chat earlier as well, Ollie. Really appreciate that. That'll go into the Sporting Memories pot as well. P Seb Sellers, I hope I said that right. 1-0 away win. Cost Skydiver, I think I said that right. 2-0 Rovers. Ryan, I'll say 2-1 Rovers at the death. Sean 2-0 Diaz double. And then what's Steve saying here? I disagree. Hull being the home team and they need the points more than us, so I expect them to attack and have more possession. I mean, that's the interesting thing, isn't it, Steve? Rovers do like to give up possession of the ball. If we just look at Hull really quickly in the possession, I don't think they're doing anything in terms of so they're down in 18th spot, 46% overall possession this season, but Rovers still bottom of that possession table with 41% average possession. So yeah, maybe we'll give Hull the ball a little bit. So that's it. That is a very confident Rovers fan base for Boxing Day. Nathaniel's also predicted a Rovers win, as have I. So it's over to Rovers then to go and get the job done on Boxing Day. But Nathaniel, just want to say Merry Christmas to you. Thank you for joining us on the show tonight. And sorry about all of the sound issues at the start. We got that sorted in the end, but really grateful for all of your insight on Hull. Thank you for joining us, mate.
Thank you very much for having me on. Merry Christmas to everyone listening in as well.
No worries. And Rovers fans, please subscribe to our YouTube channel if you have not already. Please give this video a big like for us. Please, everyone, stay safe. Obviously, Hull have got COVID cases in their camp, games being postponed across the Football League, as well as cases in general high in the country at the moment. So everyone, please stay safe. Enjoy your Christmas, however you're wishing to spend that. As we always say, Christmas is a really difficult time for some people. So know where your support networks are. Reach out to us at Rovers Chat if you are feeling alone or anything like that. And please just enjoy the next few days. Rovers obviously back in action on Sunday. We'll have everything covered with our usual match day content. So last thing to do is say bye to Nathaniel, goodbye to Rovers fans, and we will see you soon. See you later.
The Rovers Chat YouTube channel is proudly sponsored by 6yardsout.com. They've got retro football from every era with mugs, phone cases and much more. They also have plenty of Rovers goods, including apparel with the famous 94-95 season and this season's kit. Check them out using the link in the description below.